Adnan Syed is free, according to the city state's attorney, because touch DNA.
What really happened to Hae Min Lee?
Now, touch DNA is based on cells we leave behind when we touch things.
Was Adnan Syed truly guilty?
However, there's no word on whether, much less when, DNA comparisons will be made.
Or was he trapped in a web of lies and flawed evidence?
If we get the DNA and we're able to identify somebody, it's extremely accurate. The question is whether or not with touch DNA you will get enough DNA.
This case shocked a city and divided millions. Secrets, doubts, and twists still haunt this story. Watch closely. Every detail matters, and missing this could mean missing the truth. Don't blink, or you might miss what others are still fighting to uncover. Case in 1999, a shocking crime shook Baltimore, Maryland. Hae Min Lee, a high school student, disappeared. She was last seen alive in January of that year. Her body was found weeks later in a park, and it was clear she had been murdered. The police started an intense investigation to find out who was responsible for her death. The main suspect was Adnan Syed, Hae's ex-boyfriend. The police believed he had a motive and the opportunity to commit the crime. They arrested him and charged him with murder. The case quickly gained a lot of attention because of the young ages of the people involved and the serious nature of the crime. Adnan denied killing Hae. He said he had nothing to do with her death. However, the evidence against him seemed strong enough to convince the jury. In 2000, Adnan was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. But many questions about the case and the trial remain. This led to years of debate and controversy over whether justice was truly served. Victim, Hae Min Lee, was a bright and popular high school student in Baltimore. She was known for being kind, caring, and full of life. Hae was active in school clubs and had many friends. She also worked hard to achieve her goals and dreamed of a successful future. On January 13, 1999, Hae left school after her last class and never returned home. Her family became worried when she did not come back or answer her phone. Days later, her body was discovered in a wooded area not far from the city. It was clear she had been strangled, and her death shocked the entire community. The loss of Hae Min Lee was deeply felt by her family, friends, and schoolmates. Many people remembered her as a gentle and loving person who did not deserve such a violent end. Her murder became a symbol of tragedy and raised questions about safety, justice, and how the case was handled by the police. Throughout the investigation and trial, Hae's story remained central. People wanted to know the truth about what happened to her and who was responsible for taking her life. Her memory continues to inspire calls for justice and fairness in the legal process. Suspect, Adnan Syed, was Hae Min Lee's ex-boyfriend and the main suspect in her murder case. He was a quiet and polite student, but had a complicated relationship with Hae. They had dated for months but had broken up shortly before her death. Some believed this breakup gave Adnan a possible motive. When Hae disappeared, the police quickly focused on Adnan. They questioned him many times, but he always denied hurting her. Despite his protests, the evidence seemed to point towards him. One key piece was the testimony of a friend named Jay, who said he helped Adnan bury Hae's body. Adnan's defense said Jay's story changed many times and was not reliable. Also, Adnan said he had an alibi. He was at the library during the time of the murder. But the court did not fully accept it. Many felt Adnan did not get a fair chance to prove his innocence. His arrest and trial attracted lots of attention because many believed he was either innocent or the victim of a flawed legal system. Over the years, questions about Adnan's guilt have continued, sparking debates about wrongful convictions and the need for justice reform. The trial of Adnan Syed began in 2000 and quickly became one of the most talked about court cases in Baltimore. The prosecution's main argument was that Adnan planned and killed Hae Min Lee out of jealousy and anger after their breakup. The key witness for the prosecution was Jay Wilds, who said he helped Adnan hide the body. Adnan's defense lawyer tried to show that Jay's story was full of contradictions and that the police did not properly investigate other suspects. The defense also argued that Adnan had a strong alibi. He said he was at the library during the time of the murder. However, the judge and jury found the prosecution's evidence more convincing. During the trial, Many questions were raised about the quality of Adnan's defense. Some believed that his lawyer did not properly investigate his alibi or challenge the witness effectively. The jury took several hours to decide, but ultimately found Adnan guilty of first-degree murder. Adnan was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. The trial left many people divided. Some believed justice was served, while others thought Adnan was wrongfully convicted. This controversy has continued for years, with new evidence and legal appeals challenging the original verdict. The evidence against Adnan Syed played a crucial role in his conviction, but it has also been the source of much debate and controversy. The main evidence was the testimony of Jay Wilds, who claimed he helped Adnan bury Hae Min Lee's body and described the events of that day in detail. Jay's statements were key in the prosecution's case. Another important piece was the cell phone records. The prosecution argued that the phone data showed Adnan's location matched the times and places Jay described during the murder and burial. However, experts and later investigators questioned how accurate and reliable the cell phone evidence really was. Physical evidence linking Adnan directly to the crime was weak. No fingerprints or DNA evidence placed him at the scene of the murder. Many believe this lack of physical proof should have raised doubts about his guilt. Over time, new experts and lawyers have reviewed the case and pointed out problems with how evidence was handled and presented in court. These issues have fueled debates about whether Adnan Syed's conviction was just or if there were mistakes that affected the verdict. Many doubts have surrounded Adnan Syed's conviction since the beginning. People have questioned the reliability of the key witness, Jay Wilds, whose story changed several times. Jay's changing accounts made some believe he was not telling the full truth or was pressured by police. Another big doubt came from the cell phone records, which the prosecution used to place Adnan near the crime scene. Experts later argued that the technology was not precise enough to confirm exact locations, meaning the timeline used to convict Adnan could be wrong. Adnan also said he had a solid alibi. He was at the library during the murder, but his lawyer did not investigate this properly. Many believe that if the defense had done more, the trial might have had a different outcome. Over the years, new evidence and appeals raised more questions about whether justice was truly done. Some believe Adnan Syed may be innocent and was wrongly convicted because of poor legal defense and unreliable evidence. These doubts kept the case in the public eye and sparked discussions about fairness, the criminal justice system, and the possibility of wrongful convictions. The aftermath of Adnan Syed's conviction has been long and complicated. After his life sentence, many people continued to question the fairness of his trial and whether he was truly guilty. Over the years, his case gained renewed attention, especially after a popular podcast called Serial covered the story in 2014. The podcast brought worldwide awareness and sparked new investigations. Following this, lawyers worked on appeals to prove that Adnan did not get a fair trial. New evidence, like the unreliable cell phone data and missed alibi witnesses, was presented in court. Some courts even ordered new hearings to review the case. The case also led to wider discussions about problems in the criminal justice system, such as poor defense for the accused and the risk of wrongful convictions. Many supporters of Adnan see his case as an example of how important it is to question evidence and make sure justice is truly served. Despite the controversies, Adnan remains in prison, but his story continues to inspire debates about truth, fairness, and the need for reform in the legal system. What do you think? Was Adnan Syed wrongfully convicted, or did justice prevail? Share your thoughts below. Your opinion matters. If you found this story gripping, hit subscribe for more real crime mysteries. And don't miss our next video, the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, murder by proxy, coming soon. Another shocking true story you won't forget.